अभय शरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी की गंगा मई की जमुना मई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की समवेता भक्त वृंद की taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's transcendental book distribution ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamanati Namane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Text number 40. Vishnoho Nu Gananam Katamaha Arhati Iham Yaham Parthivani Api Kavihi Vimame Rajamshi Cha Skambha Yaha Swa Rahasa Ashkalata Tri Prishtham Yasmat Tri Samya Sadnat Uru Kampayanam Vishnonuviryo Gananam Katamor Hatiha Yaf Parthivanyapi Kavir Vimane Rajamshi. Chakshambhayasva rahasas khalatati prishtham Yasmatri samya sadanad uru kampayanam Vishnur virya gananam katamor hatiha Yaf parthivanyapi kavir vimame rajamsi Chakshambhaya Swarahasas Kalatatri Prishtham Yasmatri Samya Sadana Urukampayanam Vishnurnuvirya Gananam Katamurta Ratiha Yaf Parthivanyapi Kavir Vimame Rajamsi Chakshambhayasvarahasas Kalatatri Prishtham Yasmatri Samya Sadana Durukampayanam Vishnurnuvirya Gananam Katamoratiha Yaf Parthivanyapi Kavir Vimame Rajamshi Chakshambhayasvarahasa. What do you say? Chaskamba? Yeah, Chaskambhayasva Rahasas Kalatatri Prishtham Yasmatri Samya Sadana Durukampayanam विष्णोनुवीर्यगणनां कतमोर्हतीह यः पार्थिवान्यपि कविर्विममेरजांसि चक्षम्बयस्वरहसा स्खलता त्रिपृष्ठम् यस्माद्रिसाम्य सदनादुरुकाम् उरुकम्पयानम्. Please repeat. शम्भयस्वरसदा पृष्ठम् Jamsi. Prishtham. Yasmati samya sadana durukam bayanam. Mataji's, please. Vishnu nuvirya gananam katamoratiha. Yaf partatan rajamsi. Chakshambhayasvara sasaskalata tripristham. Viryagananam katamoratiha. Shamsi. Prishtham. Dayanam. Gananam katamorhatiha. Yav parthivanyamapi kavirvimame rajamsi. Prishtham. Yasmati samya sadana durakampayanam. Anyone else? Vishnuham of Lord Vishnu. No, but Viryam, prowess. Gananam, in the matter of calculating. Katamaham, who else? Arhati, is able to do it. Iham, in this world. Yaha, one who. Parthivani, the atoms. Api, also. Kavihi, great scientist. Vimame, might have counted. Rajamshi, particles. Cha, Chakshambha, Chaskambha, could catch. Yaha, one who. Swarahasam, by his own leg. Askalatam, without being hampered. Triprishtham, the topmost planetary space. Yasmat, by which. Trisamya, the neutral state of the three modes. Sadanat, up to that place. Urukampayanam, moving very greatly. Translation. Translation purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even a scientist who might have counted the particles of atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is Vishnu only who, in his form of Trivikrama, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature, and all planets were moved. Purport. The highest scientific advancement of the material scientist is atomic energy, but no material scientist is able to count the particles of atoms contained in the whole universe. But even if they were able to count such atomic particles, or were able to roll up the sky like one's bedding, even then one would be able to estimate the extent of the prowess and energy of the Supreme Lord. He is known as Trivikrama because once in his incarnation of Vamana, he expanded his leg beyond the highest planetary system, Satyaloka, and reached the neutral state of the mode of nature called the covering of the material world. There are 7 layers of matter covering the material sky, and the Lord could penetrate even those coverings. With his toe he made a hole through which the water of the causal ocean filters into the material sky, and the current is known as the sacred Ganges, which purifies the planets of the 3 worlds. In other words, no one is equal to the transcendently powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent, and no one is equal to or greater than him. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritafada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vatamsha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamanati Namane Vrajajana Rasavedi Prachita Shri Jaya Shri Sahaparikara Gauranga Ankita Swanta Bhumi Bhuvana Vidita Tirtha Soma Kirter Vitayi Bhuvijayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamanati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pashchati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmi Yasya Chivakshasi Yasyase Hridaye Samvitam Nritsimhamaham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karati vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam aham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tata Guru Tasyaite Katita Hyarta Prakashante Mahatmanaha. So this verse is speaking about the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's very important to understand that the philosophy or the point of view or the way of looking at the entire world established by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. That it's inconceivable simultaneous oneness and difference. So we have to understand that at every step of our philosophy, it is inconceivable. We cannot really conceive of it. It's inconceivable. For example, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present within all the atoms of the universe and is present between them. In order for him to, and in one place, Srila Jiva Goswami writes that even the Supreme Lord uses, or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that the Supreme Lord can use the senses and sense all the senses of another living entity to get information of another living entity who's sitting in front of him. For example, I'm sitting in front of you, and the Supreme Lord could use my senses to see how you're looking. So it's inconceivable to understand how all this is managed by one person. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is maintaining all the affairs of this universe, and he's completely conscious of everything which is going on in this universe simultaneously, and it does not bother him. For us to manage one Sankirtan party or like an entire corporation may seem like a lot, but what to speak of all the living entities in this world? It is inconceivable. It is inconceivable how, Jayadvaita Maharaj was saying that, yes, we have some, he was quoting Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that we can have some understanding that the Supreme Lord is the greatest of the greatest, the bigger of the biggest, right? We see that, okay, America is pretty big, bigger than America is the earth, bigger than the earth is the universe, and bigger than the universe, like this, we can keep going on. And then the smallest thing we know, okay, my finger is smaller, but smaller than my finger is like half the finger. And then there's like the atom, and there's 1/10 the size of the atom, and 100 the size, and we can understand that. But then what's inconceivable is Krishna is simultaneously both at the same time, and he still maintains his beautiful form as Shyama Sundara. That's inconceivable. That'll literally blow our minds trying to, figure that out. We can't necessarily understand this. And in order to understand this is a very important thing to note. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavitaha mudoyam nabijanati loko mam ajamavyayam. That to the non-devotees, Krishna is covered by this veil of Maya. There's a veil of Maya that's present. And people are very much attached to this veil of Maya. There's a band actually called Veil of Maya that's like, wow, we're in a veil of Maya. But we're illusion. We're covered by illusion. This Krishna is a veil of Maya. That the living entities cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as long as they're inimical or envious towards him. As long as they're envious to the principles of pure devotional service, they cannot understand the greatness and the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So because of that envious nature, the living entities are unable to understand. But for a devotee, Krishna reveals these things. But even a devotee cannot fully understand Krishna, and even Krishna cannot fully understand Krishna. And Krishna says it right there in this verse. Why? Because Mamebhya Paramavyayam. Because Avyaya means inexhaustible. My energies are inexhaustible. Krishna's energies are inexhaustible. There is no limit to Krishna's energies. There's no limit to Krishna's prowess. There's no limit to Krishna's pastimes and activities. There's no limit to the greatness of Krishna. There's no limit to this. And because there's no limit to this, the living entity has to understand that by nature, the very definition of God is that he cannot be crammed within the cranium of our mind. He cannot be crammed. The very definition of God is that he's better than us at everything. He's more unlimited than us in every single way that we can think of. That's the very definition of God. And this is a very important concept, and this verse is quoted in the Mahabharata, and I'm a little ashamed that I haven't memorized this verse, but this is a very important verse to know. It's quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, and my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, quotes this a lot. Achintya kalu ye bhava natam starke na yojayet Prakritibhyah param yacha tad achintasya lakshanam. Then, please pay attention. The Supreme, that is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Anything transcendental to material nature is called inconceivable. Whereas arguments are all mundane. Since mundane arguments cannot touch transcendental subject matters, one should not try to understand transcendental subject matters through mundane arguments. So this is a very important thing to note, that anything transcendental to this material nature is all inconceivable. We cannot possibly, okay, for example, conceive of this point. You are eternal. From a mundane perspective, do we have any conception of something that's eternal? So being eternal is a concept that we either accept it or we don't. We can logically explain it, of course. It's not all based on just faith, I say so, or because Prabhupada says so or something, but it's explained logically and all that in Shastra. All this is there. But still, the concept of being eternal is something that we just have to accept. We cannot conceive of it. Think about it. You were existing when Christopher Columbus came to America. You were existing when, when the First World War happened. You were existing when, what is the oldest thing that people can know about, whatever, no, that's bogus. Whatever, okay. Huh? Okay, you were there, you were existing somewhere when the great floods happened. You were existing somewhere when the pyramids were built. You were existing all the time. You were there. You were existing all the time. There's no point of time that you didn't exist. But can we conceive of it? Can we conceive of even existing 100 years ago? Especially right now, like with all this modern technology, this, that, and the other thing. Can we conceive of existing 100 years ago? Can we conceive of existing 150 years ago? We cannot. But the fact is that the living entity is eternal because we're going through so many changes of the body. We are going through so many changes, going through so many different material circumstances. At least 20 million lives we've been in this material world. That's a lot of time. Can we conceive 20 million lives? How many years is that? How long is that? Can we conceive of it? We cannot. We cannot. But still, we can understand that. But on the material perspective, everything is relative. On the material perspective, Prabhupada was speaking about this. I was reading this in Life Comes From Life. That on the material perspective, everything is relative and is based on desha, kala, patra. It depends on time, place, and circumstance on the material perspective. And we see this and we understand it. Then, according to Shastra, every living entity lives for 100 years according to its own estimation. Even the ant lives for 100 years. And for the ant to conceive that the human being could live for 70, 80, 100 years is almost inconceivable. For the ant to realize that there's more than 2 dimensions is inconceivable. The ant may be crawling on our hand and trying to do whatever ants do, but he cannot conceive that he's crawling on top of a person. What is a person? That there's a whole building, that there's a whole city. He cannot conceive of it. But because the ant cannot conceive of it doesn't mean it does not exist. So this is a very, very important point to understand, that it's inconceivable, that the potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all inconceivable. Everything the Supreme Personality of Godhead does is completely inconceivable. And we understand that, and therefore the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to all this. Spiritual knowledge is transcendental to limiting consciousness. Maya means to measure something. When we start measuring, we should know that we should know that we're in Maya. No one can measure the length and breadth of God. No one, Prabhupada writes this in a purport. No one can measure the length. You know what? I could pull it up. I could find it. This is really, really ecstatic what Prabhupada says here. That this is, you can pull this up, Prabhu, 3:26:52. Whoever has it. And you can go to the end of the purport. You're still a little rusty with this app, Jacob. 52. Anyway, someone should teach him how to use the app. Okay. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Last two sentences. Right? So here Prabhupada writes, no one can measure the length and breadth of God by speculation or by false identification with God. These attempts are symptoms of lunacy. It's crazy. It's literally crazy. That you are actually completely nuts. If I were to tell you, hey, why don't you do one thing? I want you to count all the blades of grass that are on our property. You'll think this guy is freaking crazy. And the Buddhists make their disciples do things like this, like count the number of grass, or build a hut, break it down, build a hut, break it down. And to make them like crazy, like this, Guru Maharaj was speaking about this, that they make them stand outside the thing and they say, okay, now, you should stand in the freezing cold and build this entire hut or build this entire structure. And after they're done, then they break it and they have to break it. And then again they have to break it. I can show you the lecture and all this if you'd like. But he said, this is a madness. It's just madness. Do this. Because we cannot even think of, but like in the karmis, the materialists, they want to try to figure out everything, with their own pratyaksha. But their pratyaksha has limitations. How much can they actually see? How much can they see? How much can you genuinely see with your eyes? How much can you see? And if you're simply basing everything upon what we can see, then, when we should not accept that there's something known as ultraviolet rays, should not accept there's something known as infrared rays, should not accept there's something known as X-rays. There's so many things which are not perceivable to our mundane eyes. And just like there's devices that you can use to get an X-ray, there's devices to see ultraviolet light, there's devices that you could use to infrared light, and God knows what else is there. Just like there's devices that is used, there are also subtle devices that can be used to understand the magnificence of this universe, which is not otherwise conceivable through science based on gross matter. We can understand the different layers of the universe through science based on subtle matter. But how many scientists are willing to accept this? How many of them are willing to take to this seriously and understand that actually there is a process? If you're really into research, why don't you research about the nature of the soul? Why not? If you're really into research, why don't you research about the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and you will find that there's no one more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. But they don't want to do that. For example, we put a challenge for this atheistic club or something, and we left them an invitation, okay, our guru is coming to town, why don't you debate with him? And then, they read our thing and they said, oh, we don't want to debate with him because on his website it says that, those who are just simply living for eating, mating, sleeping and defending are no better than animals. And then I think there's a quote from the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita that's actually demoniac or something. That they said, we don't want to debate with him because he has this on his website. And unless he puts out an apology letter and says he's changed his view on his website, only then will we debate with him. And our point was, you sound like you're scared. If you're convinced that you're not an animal, prove it. Either you're an animal or you're not. If you're not an animal, come and debate with us if you're so confident about your situation. If you're so confident, why don't you debate with us? Why? Because they don't care. They don't want to accept. They're not seriously inquisitive because it goes against the religion of atheism. They go to their churches called the museums. They listen to their pastors called the scientists. It is all bogus. Ultimately, it's based on faith. Did you go and see an atom? No. Did you go and see an electron? No. The truth is that even this structure of the atom, I think Mahotsaha Prabhu was saying, was actually something someone imagined when they were on LSD or something like this. That's why I always thought that looked pretty trippy. Every time I was like, what the heck is that? But that's not exactly how it looks. So it's so much based on faith. So the question is, where are we going to keep our faith in? The scientists always change their point of view. Always. Guru Maharaj gave this, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj gives this example so many times that what they're teaching us right now in the current science books is already proven to be wrong. But it's going to take some time for them to update their students and all, their teachers and all this and all that. And by the time they're updated, then new research comes about. Why? Because it's always changing. The scientists think that because we cannot live on the moon, no one can live on the moon. Because it's all based upon their speculation. Prabhupada says, as I was just reading this in Life Comes From Life, Prabhupada says, I can pull up this other books by Srila Prabhupada. And here Srila Prabhupada says, relativity and knowledge. Actually, I'm just going to take over the screen. Okay. So, is visible? All living entities possess the required intelligence to execute 4 principles: eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. I'm looking for something particular. Okay. Yes, everything is relative. You have your body, your duration of life, and your intelligence, and the ant has his. Both we and the ant live for 100 years, but the length of our 100 years lifespan is relative to our bodies. Even Brahma, the longest living entity in the universe, lives for 100 years. To us, the ant's lifespan may seem only a few days. In the same way, on other planets with atmospheres different from the Earth's, there are life forms situated in those suited to those conditions. But the scientists try to view everything according to the relative conditions of planet Earth. This is nonsense. Why are they doing that? If the whole cosmic manifestation follows the law of relativity, how can the scientists say that the conditions of this planet must apply to life on other planets? The Vedas instruct us that knowledge must always be considered in terms of Desha, Kala, Patra. Desha means circumstances, Kala means time, Patra means the object. We must understand everything by taking these 3 elements into consideration. For example, a fish is living very comfortably in water, and we are shivering on the shore of the sea. This is because my Desha, Kala, Patra and the fish's Desha, Kala, Patra are different. But if we conclude that the seagulls will also shiver in water, that is nonsense. Their Desha, Kala, Patra is again different. There are 8.4 million different species of life, and in the material cosmic manifestation, and each species must adjust to circumstances differently. Even on this planet, you cannot go live comfortably in Alaska, although it is America. Similarly, the living entities enjoying life in Alaska do not come here. Relativity is then based upon a situation. Karandhar Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada, yes. Therefore, it is said, what is food for one is poison for another. Because the scientists cannot survive on the moon, they think no one else can. But this is the point. We understand this, that if you look at everything simply from our perspective, someone may find the food too salty. Others may find the food to be not enough salt. It's relative. It depends upon, a person's taste. So if we cannot necessarily say that, because I find this too salty, everyone else should find it. Or because I find that there's less salt, everyone else finds like it's less salt. It's different, it's relative, And we have to understand this point. But, and there's this really amazing verse in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, prayers offered by Lord Brahma. 10:14:4. I'll read the translation. It's really amazing, actually. There's a similar verse, actually, in this. I remember when I was brand new, Ramai Prabhu was quoting this verse. It's really amazing. Gunatmanas tepi gunan vimatum hitavatirnasya ka isharesya kalena yarirva vimita sukalpai bhupam shavake mihika dubhashaha. In time, learned philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms of the earth in the particles of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among these learned men who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental potencies possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities. Who could count the greatness of Krishna? Who could count? Even if, even if the scientists are able to count all the particles of Earth, right? And even subtler than that, they could count all the particles of snow. And even subtler than that, if they could count all the particles of the rays of the light coming from the sun, still they would not be able to understand the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why Krishna is known as Gunatma. Srila Sanatana Goswami says Krishna is known as Gunatma because he possesses all wonderful qualities. He possesses all wonderful qualities. He possesses the greatest qualities. And for example, if you were speaking about mercy and charity and all the good qualities, being a gentleman or whatever, all these good qualities, they simply remain in the theory unless a person comes and displays it. When someone is really merciful to us, only then do we understand what mercy means. When someone is really charitable to us, only then do we understand what charity means. But only when someone is so well behaved, only then will we understand what good behavior is. Similarly, culture cannot be fully understood by reading a book. Culture is something that is experienced. It's really what it is. If I were to tell you that there's some people who are so cultured that when they receive prasadam, or when they receive a holy book like the Bhagavatam, they immediately, even if it's freezing cold, they take their shoes off and slippers off and then accept it like that. It'll be hard to conceive, but when you actually see people living it and see people doing it, you think, wow, this is amazing. There's people who actually do this, didn't it surprise you the first few times you saw that some of the people do that? Yeah, especially the Telugu homies. You go give them prasadam, immediately they take their shoes off on their books, they're so reverential, and you can't write about this in a book, you go and experience it, So culture, all these things are simply a concept unless we actually see someone displaying it. So similarly, Krishna, being Gunatma, is the reservoir of all wonderful qualities. Krishna is the reservoir of all qualities. And that's why Krishna comes down to establish loving relationships with the living entities. Sri Sanatana Goswami says that there's infinite living entities in the universe, and Krishna displays infinite qualities very specific to that living entity to attract him or her towards Krishna. That's inconceivable. How is one person having every quality that everyone is attracted to him in some way, shape or form? Even Duryodhana was attracted to Krishna. Why? Because Duryodhana is a great politician, and he's like, I have to outsmart. And then there's one thing that, Arjuna saves all the Kauravas from being captured by the Gandharvas. And then, Duryodhana tells him, you see, Arjuna, you saved my life. I owe you something. I give you a boon. You come and ask me for anything you want and I'll give it to you. So Arjuna says, okay, and he just goes away. And then, he's Duryodhana in the middle of the war is coaxing Bhishma. Bhishma, you're being too compassionate. You love the Pandavas so much, therefore you're not killing them. Because I kept all my hopes on you, but you're not doing it. And we read about this in the Bhagavatam also. That you're not killing the Pandavas because you're too compassionate upon them. You're being too soft, man. You're being too soft. You're not killing them for a reason. And Bhishma gets really fried out. And then he makes up. He is being such a great devotee, a great yogi, having all these potencies, maintaining brahmacharya his entire life in spite of being a prince. He invests he takes out 5 special arrows which have special gems on them, and he invests different potencies in all those 5 arrows from all the tapasya that he did. And he said, these 5 arrows, each of these 5 arrows are meant for the death of each Pandava. And Duryodhana goes into ecstasy, thinks, oh, this is it. I finally got it, And then he says, you know what, Bhishma? I will keep these 5 arrows so no one can take him from me. So then, Krishna and Arjuna are there. Krishna just tells Arjuna, go to the Kauravas camp. This is after the war is over for the day. Go to the Kauravas camp and go up to Duryodhana and tell him, I know you have in possession 5 arrows of Bhishma. Ask him for it. So then, the devotees, it's inconceivable. What the heck is Krishna talking about, right? If it was a faithless rascal like myself, I'd be like, Krishna, what are you talking about? What is this? What 5 arrows? Why do I have to do that? I'm already tired. Tomorrow's a war. I need to go to sleep. I need to chant good rounds. So whatever nonsense I may say. But Arjuna is so surrendered. Krishna says, yes, boss, I gotta go. That's it. Okay. He surrendered. He surrendered to the authority. He surrendered to his temple president, spiritual master. Krishna was everything for Arjuna. So he was surrendered to him. Like, okay, all right, Sankirtan leader, he surrendered big time. He was like, okay, all right, I'm going to go. So Arjuna goes, and then Duryodhana is like, and all the devotees like, wow. One of Arjuna's name is Bibhatsu, one who cannot be conquered. Another name for Arjuna is Jishnu, means one who is insurpassable. Bibhatsu means one who always fights very dharmically. Another name for Arjuna is Jishnu. They're like, oh wow, Bibhatsu is here. Oh, Jishnu is here. And he has 10 other names, Arjuna, So like, oh wow, he's here. Partha is here, and everyone's like, oh, Arjuna. And then Duryodhana personally comes, Arjuna, you're here. What can I do to serve you? How can I serve you? And then Arjuna, goes to Duryodhana and tells, Duryodhana, do you remember, when I saved you from the Gandharvas, you said, you'll give me a boon? And he's like, yeah, I remember that. He said, what do you want? Do you want the whole kingdom? Do you want me to give up the war? And he's trying to, taunt him, like, oh, you freaking loser, you can't defeat me, therefore you're asking. So he said, no, I don't want that. What I really want is those 5 arrows that Bhishma gave you. And Duryodhana is shocked. He was shocked, He was like, what the heck is this? What? How do you know about these? He gives Arjuna, okay, I'll give you the arrows, but tell me how you knew about them. He said, Krishna told me. And Duryodhana is shocked, and Arjuna, Duryodhana gives him those arrows. And Arjuna goes back and takes it back. And Duryodhana's mind is blown. He was thinking, who the heck? Maybe this Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maybe he has to be. I mean, what the heck? How would he find out? How would he possibly find out? He has to be God. Therefore, let me offer my obeisances unto him. yeah. Before he goes to sleep, how we offer obeisances every night to Narasimhadev and, Radha Govinda, whatever. Every night before. He also offered his obeisances that night and went to sleep. So Krishna is attracted to everyone. Even the demons can appreciate Krishna's prowess, or demons can appreciate so many things. Everyone worships Krishna. Okay, they didn't want to worship Krishna, therefore they worship Balaram. The Kauravas worship Balaram. So is Krishna's qualities. He is Gunatma. He is personally there, and he takes upon Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Atmataya Manasu Yafprananam Pratipadam Spratamupite Lila Yatena Bhuvanani Chayat Ajashram Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That Krishna enjoys, Krishna's pastimes are triumphant over all the great things of this world. They are triumphant over everything. Krishna's pastimes are so amazing. Krishna Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. That's why, we have to understand this point. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means that he's a supreme person, which means he can be supremely personal with every living entity. He knows how to please the living entities in just a way that they'll be completely satisfied. That is who Krishna is. That is how amazing he is. He's supremely personal with each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. And and we can understand this potency of Krishna when we're out there distributing Prabhupada's books. That so many times for different people we speak in different ways, and somehow we happen to say just the right thing for the person to take it. And when they actually buy the books, we are really shocked, like how the hell did this guy take the books? Really, why would you take the books? How would we have ever imagined that the guy who paid Stuart Little would be like, okay, what's your quota? How many of these you'll have to sell? We're like, 5 and you're the last one, but if you take it, bro, we only have to, he said, okay, you know what, to help you attain your quota, I'll buy a Bhagavatam from you. How could you possibly make that? How could you know? And I was looking at my phone, for some reason, Google Photos shares memories from like 1 year ago, 2 years ago, like 5 years ago, and like, so I was just like looking at, and like, obviously all my photos are of people who distribute, who have distributed books to, like, oh yeah, bro, smile, bro, I want to show my guru in India, take a picture, whatever. And then, 2 years ago, and it showed up, and then there was a picture of Iman Mataji buying her first sapta. Like, I remember, then I remember, like, oh, wait, yeah. I remember I was standing outside George Estate, Mahotsaha Prabhu and I went there, and it was just during, like, lunch break or something, and all the kids were, like, running out. And then, I saw Mataji, and like, she had this necklace, and I said, oh my God, excuse me, miss, the ankh is for knowledge, right? And then she's like, yeah. And then, like, I don't even remember what. I was just like, yo, miss, like, the knowledge and happiness, and, like, God is spiritually black, he plays the flute, and, this and that, like, you king of knowledge, blah. And I was just, like, saying some random stuff. I'm like, miss, you got cash app? Okay. And, like, dollar sign KLAT, and, like, $49, and it was all over in 1 minute. And then one thing I specifically remember, like, Mataji, and I took her number, and I wanted to invite her to the Sunday program, which I'm glad I did, I took her number, and then after that, I remember, like, walking away, and I just looked back, and, like, Mataji is holding the books in her hand, like, man, I just got hustled, dude. Like, I remember the look, I just got hustled, big time. It was just like, oh man, like, what the heck is this? Like, the 7 books, what the heck? She's holding the books, and she's looking at them, like, Chekanya, what the heck is that? The Srimad Bhagavad. What the heck, man? Like, but, like, I remember that look, like, it just got a freaking hustle, dude. This freaking guy. I got hustled. Anyway, let me just go to the Sunday program and see what it's all about. And then now here we are, But, the Supreme Lord, like, that inconceivable, he's supremely personal. And, like, and when he wants to pull a living entity towards himself, he's going to just, like, and if you're in it at that point, you're just, like, connect, if you're zoned in with the Krishna's point, like, Krishna, like, what is that? I'm forgetting that word. But anyway, may thy will be done, not mine. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj quotes this. I think it's a thing from the Bible or something. May thy will be done, not mine. Like, may the Lord's will be done, not mine. But higher than that is to have no will other than the Lord's will. Whatever the Lord's want, we want to do. I think he just quoted in a recent verse, actually. Recent lecture, actually. That we just have to, like, understand, like, it is what Krishna wants. Krishna is in it, man, 100%. Every time Krishna is in it. Every time the books don't go out, it ain't the Lord's fault, it's our fault. Because we're not plugged in. We're being mental. We are, like, lacking surrender. The fault is on our. Why would Krishna not want to get that living entity back home, back to Godhead? Why? It's just because we are not competent, reservoirs of Krishna's mercy. That's why. That's the only reason why. There's no other reason why. But Krishna wants the living entities to come back home, back to Godhead. He wants it. And, like, so many different people, you can just say, like, so many different things. And, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. I remember the first Bhagavatam that I distributed in like, the Cleveland Fan Expo was that big, tall, white guy who, you remember him? And I was, like, talking to him, and he was, like, just saying, no, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. I said, and I for some reason, like, sometimes you try to milk an ox. Like, someone is clearly an ox, like, bro, come on, bro. And it finally gives you $1 and everything, like, dude, what the hell? And I was thinking in the middle of, why am I wasting my time with this guy, And then, at that point in time, there's not so many people, so I was just like, bro, come on, you got to take this, and start telling him this and telling him that. He's like, I'm not good at making decisions. I said, bro, I'll make the decision for you. You have to take the books. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I said, you know what, man, at least we have $60. And, he said, yeah, I do. He said, you know what, I'll buy the books. How much? $300? And he gave me $300 on the spot. I said, are you crazy or what? But he just told me that. But, Krishna does, like, there must be something which happened in the middle of the whole, which convinced the homie to buy the books. You cannot understand it on, like, some mundane platform. Book distribution supersedes the physical, like, it supersedes the mundane world. It supersedes it. And we're seeing this, so, here, like, the Supreme Personality of God, like, imagine, like, how much, like, their mind would have completely blown up when there's, like, this cute little Vamana walking, like, and he's like, cute little lotus footprints and, like, walking on the thing, and they all looking like, who's this little cute little brahmachari? Wow, he's so cute. And, like, even in Bali Maharaj's sister, who is a demon, like, things like, wow, this boy is so cute. Like, I wish I was his mom and I could, like, feed him my breast milk. And then they're all finding him so cute and, like, so amazing. And then, like all I want is 3 paces of land, and I think, oh, poor child, you don't know, although you're a great Brahmana, you don't know what's good for you. But this child speaks like such like amazing words, like bamboozles him, and the whole time Shukracharya knows what's up. Like, dude, this is Vishnu. Do not do it. He's going to hustle you right now. See, Lord Vamana is the ultimate hustler. He hustled like anything. He worship Lord Vamana. Let's read more books. He hustled the whole freaking universe, dude. Like, we're just taking home a cute brahmachari, give me 3 steps of land, and 3 steps of land, like what the hell is it you asking, bro? 3 steps of land, and then they're like, you know what, all right, if you want your 3 steps of land, take it. And then he just freaking he expands himself beyond like what the heck, he's going and going, and then his foot like goes through like 7 layers, the 7 layers of the universe. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kamano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyame bhinna prakritira siddhata. We're already on the earth, and then outside the universe, outside this thing, there's like 1 layer of water which is 10 times bigger than the earth, and then there's like a gap which is 10 times bigger than that. And then 10 times bigger than that is the realm of fire. 10 times bigger than that is the realm of air. 10 times bigger than the realm of ether. 10 times bigger than that, realm of the mind. 10 times bigger than the realm of the false ego. And then he goes beyond that, and like, his foot is too big that the universe can't accommodate it. And then like his toe like pokes the whole of the universe, and like Ganga flows. And I mean, can you conceive of it? Can you really conceive of it? And then like, he like, conquers like the other section too, and then and then he captures Bali and tells him, see, you promised me 3 paces of land, but you couldn't even do that, therefore you should go to hell. And like, imagine like what the heck just happened, dude. Like just like you say, Imam Malik had the books, like what the heck is it? Like what would they think? Like, dude, I just had the universe, and this guy asked me for 3 paces of land, and now in 2 steps everything is gone. Who can conceive of Lord Vamana's hustle? You cannot understand it. You can literally not understand. Like, wow, this is amazing. This is inconceivable. When Krishna wants to like hustle you, so game over. Really, he'll hustle you off like your family, your wealth, like everything. Krishna's going to hustle the heck out of you, man. Like he's going to like take it all from you. Krishna's going to take it all, like your whole like whatever you're in. Krishna's going to hustle it away big time, and it's going to come like really cute. Oh, just take 1 plate of prasad. This is a very good thing, and people keep eating it. Like next thing you know, man, these guys shaving my head up, taking my money, like. What the heck is it? But that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead's inconceivable potency. We cannot possibly understand. Like, for example, like the devotees, in New York, there was like this strict thing that no parades can happen on Fifth Avenue in New York. No parades can happen, And it was a strict rule and strict policy, and they were like, no, nothing. And then the devotee just like went and spoke to one person, one official, and they all took him all the way to the top, And then like this person, I think he already taken prasadam or something like that, this official. And then this official was saying, oh, you guys want to do, like, what is this going to comprise of? And he just said, just 3 handheld carts for the Rath Yatra, just 3 handheld carts. He said, just 3 handheld carts, you guys can have it. You know what? It's just 3 hand. And next thing you know, we have a freaking Rath Yatra, like, hundreds of devotees pulling around, like, Jai Jagannath, like, what the heck is 1975? Like, dude, how did y'all get permission for this? What the heck? We have the permit. Look, it's like 3 hustled, hustled big time. And Prabhupada said, this is our parampara. This is what Lord Vamana Dev did, like. How can you possibly understand? We cannot understand what is going on. Like, just a small plate of, $15. I'll give you my number. Yeah, I'll come check it out. And next thing you're surrendering your life to a spiritual master. Like, what? What the heck happened? Like, it just doesn't make any. But that is the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. That's the no one can compare to the prowess of Lord Vishnu. Nobody can. Jarasandha thought, this time I'm going to beat him. Krishna and Balaram alone wiped them all out. 14 Akshohinis so many times. Just wiped them out. Like what's Krishna's bow's name? Anyone know? The bow of Krishna. Who knows? Huh? Saranga, that's right. What's Krishna's club's name? Huh? No, that's Balaram's club's name. Kumudi. Huh? And then we have the son. Huh? Kaumudi. Krishna's club. Krishna gets his saranga from the Vaikuntha and like destroys the guy and then captures Jarasandha and lets him go. Like what, 18 times or something like that? It's crazy. But still these fools say, oh no, this time I want to get Krishna. This time, hey, you crazy or what? Give it up. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should not be stubbornly obstinate to surrender to the spiritual master. We should not be stubbornly obstinate to not, to not go out there and not be mental. We should not be like that. We should understand this, And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes an amazing point that Lord Sankarshan is that great personality who actually counted all the atoms of the universe, all the snow particles, all the light emanating from the sun, all the particles of light emanating from the sun. And although he could do all this, he still cannot reach the end of the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's how great Lord Krishna is. That's how great Lord Vamana is. We cannot possibly conceive of this. It's inconceivable. That's why the whole crux of it is this. I'm going to quote this verse again. You took over the screen? Jacob is trying to hustle me off the screen. But see this, look. This verse is very, very important. We understand this one. You see, I just quoted it. Look. Achintya kalu ye bhava natam sarke na yojayet prakritibhyaf param yacha tat achintasya lakshanam. Anything transcendental to material nature is called inconceivable, whereas arguments are all mundane. Since mundane arguments cannot touch transcendental subject matters, one should not try to understand transcendental subject matters through mundane arguments. Who could understand that Prabhupada is going to come and conquer the entire world? They were thinking like, and my Guru Maharaj writes this in Jai Srila Prabhupada. Let me see if I can pull this up. This is really, really amazing. How Srila Prabhupada is Sarvadeva Maya Guru. This is really amazing actually. Let's see if I can pull this up. He's speaking about, he compares the Prabhupada to, the potency of all the different incarnations, not biography, glorifications. Okay, glorification. As this Jai Srila Prabhupada, the Sarvadeva Maya Guru. Okay, and then as Mansya Das Kurma as Lord Varaha. Okay, like Lord Vamanadev. Visible, not visible. I'm just going to do it up just a little bit. Okay. Like Lord Vamanadev, Srila Prabhupada appeared to be physically small in stature, but his steps covered the earth and conquered it. Lord Vamanadev took all material possessions away from Bali Maharaj, but gave himself to Bali. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada came to take away our material attachments, but then give us Krishna and to give himself also. Jai Srila Prabhupada. It's just like Lord Vamana, Prabhupada makes it, such a small, but you see, he conquered the entire earth, took away the material possessions and gave Krishna and himself also. So we should understand this, that is, no one can come close to the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Keep your eggs in one basket, the Krishna basket. That understand this. That if you put everything in God's hand, you'll see God's hand in everything. It's a very important thing to understand. If we really go in just ananya shintayanto mam yajanav paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshevam vahamyaham. If we have faith in this one verse, we're good. We're completely good. To those who are constantly meditating upon my transcendental form and my nature, or my transcendental qualities and pastimes, I preserve what they have and carry what they lack. If we meditate on this one verse, we're good. This is the hack to actually make it through. This is it. It doesn't get better than this. It really doesn't. And it's really amazing, this, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Ganga, the Ganges water purifies this entire world. It comes to purify the entire world. And we should take shelter of these great devotees like that. Drishtai Subhava Janitaiva Pushasya Dosha na Prakitatum Bhakta Janasya Pashyat Gangam Pasamna Kulabhut Buddha Pena Pankar Brahma Dravatam Pagachati Nira Dharmaihi. That we may see that that a particular sadhu, a particular Vaishnava may seem like this, may seem like that. His body may be like this or this and that. He may seem to forget things, but no. Brahma Dravatva Pagachyati Nira Dharmai. Brahma Dravatva, he has captured that potency of Krishna. That is what we should always look for. And then there's other verse in the Bhagavatam. Yes, this is very very applicable. Talking about the Ganges water. Yatpada samshaya suta munaya prasamaya naha sadhya punadupasprishta vadu naponyu sevaya. I haven't quoted this verse in a long time. Yatpada samshaya suta munaya prasamaya naha sadhya punat upasprishtha swadhunya pona sevaya. Swadhunya pona sevaya. Oh Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. So tomorrow is a very special day for all of us, especially for Bhakti Janardhan, Bhakti Trace, Desha Mataji. A very special day, coming in touch with the pure devotee, coming in touch with a person who has taken complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, can become completely sanctified. It's the most amazing, the most important thing to do. And Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadik Pai Bhakti Lata Beach, that they're all wandering through millions and millions of universes in this material world. We were simply wandering. But by good fortune, Lord Krishna has personally given you a bona fide spiritual master. That is over. Now you're reaching the point of no return. This is it. You're going to take this next step, and it's going to be really amazing. Every morning we chant Nikunja Ratikeli Siddhyai Yayali Bhir Yukti Rapekshaniya Tatrati Dakshyad Ati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. That a spiritual master is very expert, and Tatrati Dakshyad Ati Vallabhasya is very dear to Krishna, and he is very expert, and he throws down a rope from the spiritual world all the way into the material world, and he asks you to hold on to it tightly. And if you simply hold on to that rope tightly, he will pull you out of this material world. Those ropes, that rope are his instructions. And out of the most important instruction, the rope also comes like this. It comes in the form of these beads. This is the rope that the spiritual master is dangling from this spiritual world all the way to the material world. And if we simply hold on to this and chant around and follow his instructions, be assured you will go back home, back to Godhead in this life. Be assured of that. Just hold on to this. Hold on to it tightly. Hold on to his instructions. No matter what goes wrong, take shelter of your bead bag and your book bag. And then everything desirable will come about. It's not that it might come about, it will come about. Everything is leading up to this. And now it's just the beginning. Initiation means to begin. So we're beginning our spiritual life when we get initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, offering, we were all there. I remember the first time, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj called us to talk about the book distribution, and then it was just Mahotsaha Prabhu, Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu, Bhakti Tyrese, and myself. And then, I told him, Maharaj, Mahotsaha Prabhu had $25,000. I took his money. Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu had $4,000. Okay, all right, $5,000. I took his money. Bhakti Tyrese had no money, or neither did I have any money. Hey, I'm on the same boat as you. We didn't have any money, and we don't have anything to offer but ourselves to you. So we're offering ourselves to you. So please kindly accept this humble offering, and please accept our book distribution and service unto your lotus feet. And then, just like he was dressed just like the Goswamis, and he just stood up and he was beaming after his massage. He was completely beaming from one end to another. He was completely beaming, and then we had the good fortune of putting our foreheads upon his lotus feet, which are softer than they're completely transcendental. There's nothing more amazing than that. So this is coming. This opportunity is just almost 24 hours away. You're getting blessed by Srimati Radharani. You came to Krishna consciousness by the potency of Srimati Radharani. She is the one who makes all the arrangements for Krishna. We are actually simply like her, part of her gang. We're part of her crew. Like she's always like canvassing for Krishna's enjoyment. So like all the books that y'all got, all the book distributors, all the members of Krishna Life, whoever has helped you, they're all like simply canvassing on her behalf. Canvassing on her behalf, because Krishna is infinite, Krishna is unlimited, and service to Krishna is unlimited. Therefore, we needed unlimited living entities, and three of you have also joined this army to increase the transcendental enjoyment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is completely inconceivable, and He'll be supremely personal with you. It's part of her department. Book distribution is part of her department. Actually, it's the most important department, actually. It's part of her department. It's the really, really important thing. It's part of this, and especially it is more specifically part of her eyes, part of her vision. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the spiritual world is Nayanamani Manjari. He is a personification of the eyesight of Radharani's eyesight that beholds Krishna. So this is the most important activity. And through the book distribution, all of you have come somehow or the other. Janardhan not in this life. Bhakti Vyasman was saying in his past life he may have received a book. So everyone has come through book distribution. So we understand this, that this is all part of Radharani's department, and she, being very pleased, is bestowing her causeless mercy upon all of you on the very auspicious day of Radhashtami. And like usually on your initiation day, you're the only one fasting along with your initiates, but we're all going to be fasting with you guys because they have to fast. So, please, take to this seriously. Tatrati dakshad ati vallabhasya. Hold on to this. Your spiritual master is infusing every single bead with the potency to take over the world and take you out of this world. Janma sartha kari kara para upakar. You can make, every time I chant my rounds, I think my spiritual master has infused every bead with unlimited potency of the Supreme Lord. The holy name is that zip file which contains all the potencies that we can possibly imagine. And if we simply hold on to this, Satrati Dakshadati Vallabhasya, simply hold on to this, spiritual master being Daksha will know how to pull you out and help pull others out also. So this is just the beginning. You're going to be receiving the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Your birthday is on her birthday. Wow, what an auspicious birthday. It's really amazing. So please, take to this seriously. Take to this potency. You're going to be officially tapped into the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. And there's nothing better than this. I remember the day of marriage, I was jumping so high after I got it. It was really one of the most memorable days of my life. It's over. Bhakti Trace is not going to exist anymore. Neither is Bhakti Janardhan. Neither is Bhakti Indesha. You're all going to die tomorrow in the fire of sacrifice and take your new birth. We're going to be born again Krishnas. But just that, so many people ask, are you born again? I said, yeah, I've been born again and again and again and again and again and again. but this time I'm born again Krishna. They're like, born again Krishna. Krishna. Like, who's your mom? Who's your dad? I say, my spiritual master is my father and the Bhagavatam is my mother. I say, yo, what? Who's your mom at this book? This book is my mom. They think like, this guy is freaking nuts. Let's not waste our time with him. Let's not bring him to our church. This guy is crazy. But that's what happens. This is what happens. So your spiritual master is your father and Shastra is your mother. So you're going to take your new birth tomorrow on the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. So, but it ain't over till it's over. It didn't happen yet. Trace, look at yourself in that mirror in that white cloth for some time, But tomorrow is all over. You're going to be burning in the fire of saffron. Welcome to the party. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any questions or comments? We can take them now. Yes, Vishnu Chidra. And one of Trace's initiation vows are going to be he's never going to screw up the live stream again.
Just boring technical question.
Boring.
So,
there ain't nothing boring about this Bhagavatam.
So, in some places it said 7 coverings, some places 8 coverings. Have you heard of that?
Bhumi. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, that's 8.
No, but it's not those actually.
I mean, last time I checked, it was...
No, so because Prabhupada said the aggregate matter is
Mahatattva.
one of them.
Yeah.
And then I think there's... anyways, I forget something else.
I mean, so many verses in the Bhagavatam there's Saptadihi.
I know,
Which
so
means
that's
7
what I'm
coverings.
kind of...
The 8,
I'm wondering...
I mean, as far as my philosophical speculation can go, it can be the 8th covering, which is Bhumi.
Earth is
Because
first
according to Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, Bhumi is one of the 8 ones.
Yeah, well, even when they list the 7, they list Earth.
No.
Yeah.
It's water. It starts with water. I'll pull it.
Really?
Actually, I got it.
So I just saw it right now. Look. Okay, so Prabhupada is saying here in Canto 6,
Oh.
he's saying, this verse describes the covering of the universe, Saptabhir Dasha Gunottair Andakoshaha.
Okay.
The first covering is earth, second is
No.
water, third is fire, fourth is air, fifth is sky. So you have Bhumi, Rapo, Nala, Vayu, and then sixth is total material energy, and the
Okay.
seventh is false ego.
I mean, here Prabhupada writes,
different
this is 326. 326, what's the verse number here? Before my phone dies. 326, 52. Over here, Srila Prabhupada says that the first layer is water, the next is fire, then air, then sky, and the ultimate holding crest is pradhana. So here it's starting with water.
But
So,
that's only 6.
no, it's 7. Prabhupada says here. As an egg is covered by a shell, the universe is also covered by various layers. The first layer is water, the next is fire, then sky, then air, and the ultimate holding crust, pradhan, within egg, and another. Okay. Its layers are water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahatattva. So anyway, more research can be done, but
Anyways, yeah, it's different explanations. So I was a little curious about that.
yeah.
7 or 8.
In this one it says 7. Anything else? Avadut.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. You said something in your last class I've been thinking about, and I wanted you to explain it a little more, that the philosophy comes first and the guru comes later.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Because you see that, for example, you can go to followers of some bogus fisherwoman who goes around hugging people. Okay? And then when you go there, you see that you may have first come in touch with her followers. You may have first come in touch with her books or her teachings or something like that. And then you come in touch with those teachings either through her followers or through her books or through some video or something, or someone may have told you something about her. And you firstly embrace that philosophy. You embrace her teachings or embrace her worldview or something like that. And then after that, if you're really unfortunate, you may even embrace her. You see? So you first accept her philosophy and then you accept her as a spiritual master. Or material master in this case. You understand? So, even to accept, or even for the Ritviks, if you read Prabhupada's books day in and day out, you would never, for the death of you, ever come to the Ritvik conclusion. You will never come to the Ritvik conclusion. But because you come in touch with the Ritvik followers, they spin that philosophy in such a way that fools and idiots are convinced that Prabhupada is the only spiritual master. So therefore that the philosophical understanding comes first and then the guru comes later. Do you understand? So you think about it more. If you don't understand, I can explain it even further. Yes, Abhi.
I was just thinking how you were talking about in book distribution. How you
Mic is on?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
I was just thinking how, when you were talking about book distribution, you can experience, Krishna's unlimited potencies, in the most practical way. And even just like in one day of book distribution, you can experience so many like different ways just in one day how like his inconceivable potency is working. Like even this past Saturday or Sunday, like the first person that I did a substitute, like he was like just like this really nerdy like white guy dressed in some costume. I had no idea what it was, and I just asked him like, man, like that would be me and being nice, Trinity Tower. They were like, bro, can you please bless us, bro? Like, can you please bless us? And so we like bowed down. He's like, yeah, man, I'll bless you. I bless you that Emperor Glorbiton, looks over your kingdom or something. God. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the guy was talking about. I was like, bro, thank you for, just because you blessed me, bro. And I put the substance in his hand, man. And I was like, bro, this is for you for giving us blessings, man. Like, I want you to give it. I want you to have these, man. Yeah, of course, man. You're going to get that absolute understanding, man. I was like, absolute understanding, like, how is he talking like this? And, he's like, I was like, bro, I was like, what you know about that, man? He's like, yeah, man, you're going to get that unlimited knowledge of the absolute, man. I was like, bro, this guy is like talking the Siddhanta right now. Whoa. Like, what the heck, bro? I was like, looked at me now. He's like, yeah, bro, this is crazy, man. I was like, yeah, bro, just get throwing 59, man. He gave me 59, no problem. I was just thinking, yo, like, how the hell is that possible, Yeah. And like, just so many ways, like, this other time me and him were suffering, just like suffering like hell. And then I'm just like, Prabhu, like, let's just wait for like the mercy of Lord.
Let's
just wait. Let's just like look around and just wait for Lord Chaitanya.
Wait it out, brother.
And so we just looking around. He's like, down. I'm like, not yet, bro, not yet. He's like, this person, like, no, we'll just wait, bro. And next thing you know, this absolutely like country guy with like a big beard with the orange shirt just walking. I'm like, man, like, bro, you gotta check this out, man. I like threw the books in his hand. I was like, man, these the knowledge for you, man. How'd I get my beard like that? And he's like, man, you gotta curl it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got the black people here, so you gotta. He's like, you gotta be careful because you can get the bumps, But like, you can do your thing, man. And then I was like, man, you crazy, man. He's like, yeah, man. I was like,
you're such a clown, dude.
Going crazy, man, like faking, laughing like anything, bro. And he was like, yeah, man. I was like, man, take these books, man. Like, they'll give 59, man. He's like, yeah. He like gave 75. Like, man, no one ever gave 100, man. He threw $100 at me, man. I was like, bro, just take the whole set, man. Give $300, right? He ain't give $300.
Oh, damn.
I was like, man, this guy crazy, man. He started going crazy. Man. I was like, bro, like we just suffered for like 30 minutes, and this guy just like came and just gave $100. Like, it's just amazing how you can just witness, like, just wait for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya.
I was even thinking about this so much that even in the ATL tattoo convention, like the 15 Bhagavatam sets. You did. How many did you do?
I did one measly Bhagavatam.
Yeah, not measly, but ain't no Bhagavatam measly.
Yeah.
But Guru Maharaj told you to correct that. Remember?
Yeah.
So, but the 15. I was thinking each and every one of them were like such different people.
Yeah.
Like, how did they how it was all? It has to be Krishna's inconceivable, but it's just a desire of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Yeah.
That Tara Icha Balavan Pashadesha Tan Hoi Jate Gaurangera Na. That Prabhupada says that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his desire is very strong. And because of the strong desire, these books are going out. So we just got to have the desire to do it. That's it. And then everything comes about. Like the accent comes about, I got like this African thing that I do that. Hey, come here, man. Hey, boy, come here, me. And I do that whole thing. And then, hey, give me $5, right? No, man. And and then they must be like, what the hell is this guy saying? But they just, they're convinced. They're convinced, it just happens, So we just have to be tapped in. Huh? What is it? Oh, yeah. I started this in New York. Like, I used to making sacrifice. And then they're like, how much? It's $49, man. And they give me $49, making sacrifice. And they would just like really think that it would like resonate with them so much. Like, okay. But it works, but you just have to be tapped into Krishna's potency, Anyway, anyone else? Okay. Okay, if you don't have anything to say, you don't have to.
Oh, I do have a question.
You stayed awake the whole class. I'm really proud of you, man. Hey,
It's the mercy.
Guru Maharaj's mercy.
Yeah.
Personal seva.
Earlier you mentioned about like the verse about like the mundane arguments are all mundane. So is that like in general just arguments?
Yeah, you can't. You see, like you cannot understand something spiritual through a material object. Like just like Just imagine people try to like, no, I can take LSD and I understand this supreme knowledge or whatever, But it's a thing made of material elements. Something material cannot give you realization of something spiritual. It's just not possible. Just like the taste of salt cannot, just like sugar cannot give you the taste of salt, and salt cannot give you the taste of sugar. You want to taste sugar, you eat sugar. So similarly, if you want to understand transcendental subject matters, understand them through the method recommended through the transcendental medium. Not like the mediums in the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, but anyway. Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Also, like the thing you say on books too when you meet somebody from Burbies. You said roti.
Yeah. It just works, It just. You can just, as long as you're tapped in, Okay, I'll tell you all like a funny. Anyway. No. I'm not going to play a video, come on. Anyway, Vishnu Prabhu's not here. I could get chastised. What video do you want me to play? I'm not going to play some video much ago. Do Mataji is that? No, that's for later. We all really want to play that one. Okay, let me ask Mataji if that. Mothers, come on. Yes, Mataji, anything? Anyone? Okay, alright. I mean, do y'all want, see, this story y'all have already seen. I want to tell y'all like a really, really like new story y'all have never heard before. Alright, I'll save this for later. You don't know about this, bro. Tell no one or one. Hey, before Vishnu Prabhu comes up. Okay, who wants the video? Video 4, 5, 6, or 6? Okay, 6. Because he's in it, he wants to see. And like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Miss. You got to pick place. You have to actually we're evened out. Okay, you know what? I'll show the video and then I'll tell the story some other time, okay? Hey, he's distributed so many Bhagavatam says. You got to give the guy some credit. Okay, so where's the video? Who has it? Who has the video? I got the video. Who did I send it? Oh my God, it's going to be so crazy to find this freaking video. Okay, don't just throw it on me like that, man. Huh? Machi, you can say, ask her. Do you remember which month it was in? What? Which month was it in? We don't have months. May, okay. Was it before Jidagiri did his backflip or after? While after that, okay. No, it has to be April.
Yeah, something.
Okay. No, that's not. Oh yeah, actually, that's probably a good way of figuring it out. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I know where to find. I got it. Okay. Okay. Nah, I don't know where it is. Sorry. Okay, I'll look one more time. Sorry. Alano, I don't know if Alancho. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. No, I had to do a little, digging, you know what I mean? Bro, let me take over the stream. Okay. Alright, y'all ready? Okay, y'all gotta turn up the Okay. Shh. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. This is really a crazy video. That's what I'm doing. Turn it up. I don't think we're going to get the rasa from this, man. Oh no. Oh my God, this guy got so awesome, dude. Anyway, the other story was way better, but
Tell the story.
no, bro. 9, 12.
We got time. We have time.
9, time for what?
We have time.
Well, okay, you know what? I won't do it now, bro. Because, bro,
Yeah,
Vishnu's
fine.
going to get on my case. 5 more minutes now. It's on y'all. Yeah, bro.
That's his
Y'all ain't going to get
initiation
nothing,
present.
bro.
Initiation present is the story.
How about this? I'll tell y'all tomorrow.
You have to say it. There's no class tomorrow.
I'll say it at breakfast.
Just speak real loud on Prasad.
I'm not going to say it. Why don't you call up Vishnu and ask him for permission?
Here.
Oh, yo. Let's ask Chandan, can I say one Sankirtan story more? Hey,
No.
finish up. Can I finish up the story or
Just
what?
one more. Just one story. One story.
It's up to Chandan, whatever Chandan says.
Just one story. For his present, his initiation present.
Okay, so listen, okay. So, we were doing this program in 26 Avenue, okay?
Right.
I'm going to tell you who this brahmachari is, but there was another brahmachari with me, okay? And then this brahmachari, no, I'm, whoa. I'm in New York, okay? So then, there was this person called Jesse, okay? Was coming through, and Jesse, you know about this one? You don't know about this, okay? So Jesse was like coming through to the program, and you know Jesse was like this, you know, tall person, you know, big, had short hair and all this and all that, and this brahmachari was like from another country, you know. So every time Jesse came to class or something, like, you know, this guy would just go, yo, Jesse, what's up, my man? And go give him a hug and say, what's up, I want to dap you up. And, you know, like, you know, he used to, like, chill with Jesse, like, you know, homies chill with other homies, you know. So, you know, every time, you know, Jesse would walk out, like, he would put his arm around Jesse and be like, yo, Jesse, bro, thank you, my man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for coming and all this and all that. Okay. So then, after a few times, Jesse came to 26 Avenue. We invited Jesse to come to the Harinam, okay? So in Harinam, Jesse had once come, and then this devotee went up to Ram Roy Prabhu, who's like a leader, and he started saying, Ram Roy Prabhu, Jesse is such a sincere guy. Jesse is such an amazing guy. Jesse is so faithful. I really think he can be a brahmachari. I really think Jesse can be a brahmachari, Ram Roy Prabhu. And then, you know, Ram Roy Prabhu was like really confused, and he was like looking at Jesse. He's like, he's going to be a brahmachari? He's like, yeah, he's really a great guy. I have his number. We text each other all the time, Ram Roy Prabhu. Jesse is really amazing. And then he said, okay, let's think about it. And then when Jesse walked away, Ram Roy Prabhu was like, does he realize that Jesse is a girl? And bro, then it actually like dawned on us that Jesse is actually a girl. And then we were like, no, her name, no, she told us her name is Jessie. No, Jesse, like, you know, so he's like, does he know that Jessie is a girl? And then we started like cracking up because the brahmachari was like, oh bro, homie, man, I'll see you later. And I was like laughing and laughing and laughing. I was laughing so much. And then I was laughing uncontrollably, and there was like this big black guy with a big belly who was walking around. I started laughing, and he stopped, and he's looking at me, laugh hysterically. And I went up to him and I rubbed his belly. And I was like laughing at the guy also. I started tickling him, and he started laughing with me. And then like I took all the books on the table, like this big, all the small books, medium books, big, and I just kept it like, and we were all laughing and laughing. And then while he was laughing, the guy took out $100 bill and just gave it to him like, and the guy just held the books and just walked away, you know. That was on my birthday too. That was like the most ridiculous Sankirtan experience I ever had. But anyway, that was really amazing. So that was your initiation present. All right, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.